Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Princess Interrupted, the podcast. I'm your host, Allison Ziggy, and today we're diving all into situationships. I've been seeing all kinds of content online about situationships, people going through it. Online card readers will read the energy of your situationship, what he's thinking, when he's going to text you, what's happening. I want to talk about the spiritual implications of a situationship, how you can kind of cut these out of your soul contract if you are done with receiving situationships, receiving breadcrumbs, receiving less than what you actually want, how you can upgrade your perspective of yourself to actually call in a higher, more aligned level of love, and what you can do if you're in the throes of experiencing a situationship right now. If you are finding this podcast episode, you're going through it, your nervous system's a mess, which just means you're feeling all kinds of uncomfortable physical sensations. Some sensations that can come from the situationship can be this sense of longing, the sense of waiting by the phone, the sense of wishing things were different, the sense of tarot card readers just wanting to know what's going on in his head, the sense of replaying every word that was said during your date, this sense of questioning, did I say too much? Did I do too much? What pushed him away? Losing your energetic magnetism. That's what today's episode is about. If this is for you, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, share, all of the things, but let's dive in. So everything is vibration. Everything is energy. Everything in your physical reality is a particle. Reality is not fixed. If you've ever studied quantum physics, quantum theory, everything has infinite potential. There are multiple realities that you can choose to align to at any given moment. The one that you have decided to align to is one that has a situationship, which does not mean there's anything wrong with you. You can actually make this the best thing that has ever happened to you. And that is what you can do with any of the circumstances in your life. It's never too late. It's never too late to shift. And I want to give you a little bit of my background so that you know that I'm not judging you. This isn't me from my high horse saying I've always had it figured out in dating. How could you? You know better. Like, you must hate yourself if you're in this situation. I understand. The partners that we feel the most magnetically drawn to oftentimes reflect back a deep wound within us. This person represents a subconscious fear, a subconscious block, a subconscious belief that we are desiring to clear so that you can go to your next level. If you've been really desiring love, but part of you doesn't feel like it's truly possible, you might manifest a situationship who makes you question whether or not what you want is really out there. This person might start off as someone who you're really attracted to. You're like, wow, this has potential. I could see this really going somewhere. And then he doesn't really put effort in. How you find yourself in these situations in the first place. Your situationship not liking you has nothing to do with how good you are, how you showed up, the worth. It's just based on the signs that you ignored from the very beginning. This person has not changed. I guarantee you, if you are listening to this, and if this is your situation, don't tune out if the specifics aren't exactly aligned. He's calling you to come over at 11 p.m. Well, it was 8 p.m. Like, same thing. Do you know what I mean? Just because it's a little bit better than the examples doesn't mean that it's good. You would not be listening to this, probably, if your situationship was good, because you would be identifying as in a relationship, and the right relationship allows you to focus on things that are actually propelling you, moving you forward, and supporting you in your purpose. The right relationship does not trigger your nervous system like this. You can still have that electric sense of chemistry, the sense of being super into someone without it being an unsafe connection. And the reason that your nervous system goes berserk in a situationship is because it feels unsafe, because it is pressing up against a core part of your identity. This person makes you question who you are to your core. Why would you want to be with somebody like that? This isn't me judging you, but this person likely showed you who they were from the first interaction. Be so for real with yourself. Be so for real. The way that this relationship started, I guarantee you he wasn't pulling out all the stops. He may have been doing more than he currently is, but chances are this man showed you exactly who he was from the jump. But you lowered your standards so that it could work. You were kind of like, what's it really matter? I haven't dated anybody in a while. We know each other. This could be fine. You put yourself in this situation. I'm not saying this to blame. I'm not saying this to finger point. Don't beat yourself up for this. This is a moment of recognition. You're not a victim, and this didn't happen. It wasn't like he was this knight in shining armor and you said the wrong thing and he decided to turn into a douchebag. That's not what happened. What happened was this guy showed you who he was, and you decided to proceed forward anyway. You saw the red flags and believed yourself capable of handling them. And you are capable of handling them. Okay? Just know there was part of you that saw all this and still moved forward. You also probably felt pings to your nervous system before you even went out. You cannot trick him into treating you well. You want to find someone who wants to treat you well. I did this with one of my exes in New York. I made him wait a long time before sleeping together, but it felt like he was resentful towards me for doing that. He literally told me that I was referred to as his friends as the girl who wouldn't sleep with him. This is simply based on the man that you are calling it. There are men out there who want to make you happy. I find that these men who are lustful, who are like immature, that is what their relationships are based off of. They have such a low sense of self-worth that they think the only way a woman is going to fall in love with them is through the bedroom, because that is true in their case, because they are so emotionally unavailable that is the only way they can get women to fall in love with them. Because if they actually were to sit down and reveal their real selves, somebody hurt them somewhere along the way, and they feel like it's not safe to do that. And so they keep women away by doing this and creating this dynamic because of the chemicals that are exchanged. They get the women to fall in love earlier so that they repeat this same dynamic, which is not the core truth of who they are, but this is who they felt safe being in the world. And you're not an idiot for falling for it. This is some next level shit, navigating this, because it is a soul desire. You have a soul desire for partnership because you are destined for partnership. You deserve partnership. You deserve love. You are worthy of someone who wants to move mountains to be with you. Someone who would turn the sun on for you. Someone who wakes up every morning and thinks about ways that they can make you happy. Who wants to support you, whatever that looks like. Who thinks you are the greatest thing to walk planet Earth. And this isn't just some egotistical, like, men innately do want to worship women. Like, men get a sense of deep fulfillment from making their woman happy. But there's a lot of societal conditioning, mainly patriarchy, where this original structure has been deconstructed, and now having feelings can be like your pussy wets. Like, it's seen as weak. Men who have a high sense of self-worth do not view it that way and actually view being a good partner as a core part of their soul and who they're here to be. Men who have been hurt and have not done the healing work don't ever want to feel that way again. They're unable to access that part of themselves. And it is not your job to fix that. It is not your job to fix them. It is on them. And unfortunately, a lot of men don't have the tools. I just even remember in my lifetime going to therapy was taboo in college. I can only imagine. Could you imagine if you've been through everything that you've been through and you've had no processing platform, you've had no way of healing, you don't have access to these tools. Men aren't doing breath work together, maybe some, but not a lot. They're not doing breath work, EFT tapping. They're not really rewiring their subconscious minds. They're just kind of going through life day by day, surface level happy with what they're receiving because that's enough for them in their current state of consciousness. And trying to save him can literally kill you. These situationships also, like, you're sharing your body with someone. And if you're a highly intuitive woman, I take it a lot of people here are like highly spiritual, highly intuitive. The tough part is you can see his soul. You can see the truth of who he actually is, but you're seeing him at his highest potential timeline. And if he's not showing himself that version of you, you do not have access to that version of him. You can't make him want to be that person. He has to decide he wants to be that person. And if he doesn't want to be that person with you, that doesn't make him bad or wrong. It makes it so that you have a responsibility to choose yourself. You can't wait around for someone who isn't even there for himself. And I know it can seem alluring, like if you can get this person who you know is capable of being an incredible human being. This person has the potential to be everything you've ever dreamed of, and yet he's giving you 2% of who he actually is. By desiring that 2% of him, he's never going to give you access to that 100%. Ever. The dynamic, the energetics just do not compute. You are okay with receiving the 2%. He's not going to start to gradually give you more and step up. It's just, this is the dynamic. This is what your souls agreed to. This is the point of energetic vibration that you two attracted each other at. And you've just got to accept that just means this isn't your person. It can feel hard because this really can push up against a lot of limiting beliefs that you still have around love. That love has to be hard. That love has to be something you work for. That love's something that you earn. That if you say the right things at the right time and show up perfectly, someone will love you. And it can be so hard when you play it back and you're like, maybe there's a misunderstanding here, or like if he got to see the real me, or if we hadn't done that, or if I hadn't said this. That was never the intention of this relationship. This relationship was sent to crack you open. And I say that in terms of when your heart is in pain, it's being expanded. Because there are body sensations that go along with this. You're sharing your body with this person. You're intimate with your body with this person. Who knows what's going on in the energetic realms between you two? I definitely believe that that means there's some healing arrangement. Sexual exchanges are very healing. But if you're not receiving the emotional intimacy along with that, it's going to completely drain your life force. It's going to drive you crazy, even if you have the tools. Even if you have the tools. And I'm speaking this from personal experience. I've done so many years of work, and even I found myself tripping. And I was like taking energy, and I was just writing, and it was like I don't want to say that it got me off my game, because it gave me such valuable insights into this work. So like, I appreciate it. I can see exactly why this situation presented itself. I can see exactly why I was attracted to this person. I can see exactly what I was meant to gain from this experience, but I can also see how this did not bring out the best in me. But that didn't start as the relationship progressed. That started from day one, when I decided to overlook the ways that this person wasn't meeting my standards. And that is always going to be the case. I would put money on the fact that is always the case. I want to speak to this because with these people, especially if you're intuitive, there can be just this strong magnetic instinct that you cannot overlook, where you are so magnetized. It's literally moth to a flame energy. This doesn't mean that they're your soulmate, that you're going to change them, that they're your twin flame. I'm imagining, you know, those like hot sticks in a fire, like poking you. Like, this person is touching on one of your deepest wounds. There is something within you that is screaming to be released, that is screaming to be recognized in this connection. This person can be the ultimate divine mirror for you. If you're listening to this and you are in a situationship and you're just like, I never want to go through this again, this gets to be your decided moment of change. Right here, right now. You get to decide, you know what? I am going to heal all of the parts of me that were available for this dynamic, and I'm going to let it go. I don't deserve this. I don't want to continue this. This isn't the standard of the relationship that I want. I'm open to releasing what's not working, and I'm ready to call in true aligned love. If you're currently going through this, I just want to give you some perspective shifts that I think will help you soften the blow of what you're experiencing. I know that this episode is kind of like solve a wound. Like, a situationship's a wound. It's a spiritual wound. It really is, because it's such a shadow of your true desire. You want intimacy, you want love, you want someone who sees all of you, who you can just come undone with, and this person's like, I just want like 2% of you. You're getting 2% of them, they just want 2% of you. And that doesn't feel good. Because if you're missing 2% of yourself, you're going to feel less than. And you associate this other person as having that part of yourself. So you only feel whole when you're in their presence. when they have such a small part of you, when you're accessing such a small part of them. And what's funny is you don't really have the 2% of them when you're not with them. Men don't think about it that way. I saw this comment on TikTok and I thought about it where it's like a day of no contact for you is just a normal day for him. Really sit with that. I mean, we've all seen the things of like, you're somebody's dream girl. That's a big one. There was another one that I like loved. The one thing that the two of you have in common in a situationship is that neither one of you likes you enough. Because your sense of self-worth is what's making you a match for this. If you truly owned how amazing you are, how beautiful you are, how smart you are, how funny you are, all of the qualities that you have, you would want to be with somebody with whom you could express all of that. You wouldn't be sitting waiting for a text when you have high standards. Because what happens is when you're in these situations over time, your standards start to erode and you start to lose more and more of yourself, and you're giving yourself to someone who doesn't even want it. I think where I used to get caught up was like, well, what kind of person do they want it for? That's really the wrong question, because that's also showing that you believe that if you were different, you could change them. No good relationship ever starts with going in wanting to change somebody. I used to really struggle with this because somebody would say like the beginning of a relationship is supposed to be the best part. And for me, I was only ever in situationships, so it always felt like I was like fighting for a text back. And it's true. It is true that when you are with someone who respects you, someone who cares about you, someone who has the capacity to love you, it doesn't feel like that. You can take the qualities from this that you like, but leave the rest. I want to share also a tip of something that really helped me. After I went on a date with this person, and it was like 2 days later, and I hadn't heard anything, I actually recorded a phone note and listed out the way that I truly felt in that moment and how I felt after the date. So that when I found myself longing and pining, I was able to objectively look at the situation for what had actually happened. I wasn't looking at this through this perspective of questioning what I said and did. I was able to actually see like, oh my gosh, I forgot that had happened. I forgot the way that had made me feel bad. And in hearing that, it was able to connect. But ultimately, the way that you're going to heal this and move on from this is going to be nervous system regulation and subconscious rewiring. The way through this is not self-blame. It's not judging yourself. It's not beating yourself up for being in this situation. But you do have a responsibility to identify what limiting belief within you was available for this, what part of you was still available for this, what did you still have to heal, and what made you a match for this, what made you feel like you deserve this, and let that go and rewire that. That's the work that I do with private clients. If you're interested in working one-on-one, I have soulmate sessions right now, and you can also upgrade to an extended package if that's of interest, if you want to dive in and see exactly what limiting beliefs are contributing to the situation. Also, it's like releasing these feelings and emotions from your body, because this isn't the first time you felt this way. If you're in this situation, I guarantee you this is just a personification and a mirror of a belief that you've held for an incredibly long time. I feel so much gratitude towards this person because I can see exactly why our souls agreed to this, at least through my perspective. It's not really my job to understand his soul's purpose with me, but I understand that through this, I was able to really clear so much and access parts of myself that I hadn't accessed in an incredibly long time. It reignited my desire for love, but I was able to also separate what this person awakened within me versus what this person was. I was able to see like this person was only ever a projection. I had such limited access to him in terms of who he actually is that most of the personifications were just made up on my part. Realizing this person is just showing you where you still have healing to do. And you're only attracted to it because you are desiring love. This was probably boss level letting go of what's not meant for you before you do call in love. That's a really exciting way to look at it. If you're in the thick of it and like you're scrolling and you're like disassociating and like you've been in this situation and you know you want to do better and it's he keeps reaching out and you're just like, just know like you have the power in the situation, and choosing yourself is going to be a lot less painful than waiting for him to choose you, because he's not going to choose you. You're not a victim in the situation. And I don't say this to judge you. I say this to empower you, because you get to decide what happens from here on out. And when I look back, the moments that I end up regretting are the ones where I let people treat me less than I deserved. You're never going to regret choosing yourself, especially when you look back. This is a blip on the radar, but don't let this person mess with you. Don't let them mess with your coins, mess with your money, mess with your head. Your energy is so incredibly valuable. I had shared on my last episode that my shaman had said when you have sex with someone, you're basically giving them $10,000 because of all of the energy that you're pouring into them and how much you're like spending, because then you get connected, you feel so deeply. If that is the case and like you have spent so much energy on this person, make sure the lesson's worth it. Like, this is an investment in yourself. I don't want you to go into it being like, oh, invest in myself, I'm going to keep doing this. If you stay past the point of lesson and heartbreak, it's just going to get harder. This is just going to get harder the longer you walk down this path. These people show you who they are from the beginning. The lesson just gets more and more painful as you keep walking down the path you know is not safe. You're walking down a path at night, no protection, no light. Whereas there is a whole world out there. You're choosing to walk down this unsafe path where there's a path that's like manicured and maintained with fairy lights, where you get to wear your princess dress, versus you're walking down where you're like barefoot, your feet are getting stabbed, there's bugs everywhere, there's no light, you can't see anything, it's confusing, you get like a hug every random interval so often. It's so addicting to the nervous system, but it's havoc, and you truly deserve better. You do. The work that I do with clients is really about upgrading how you see yourself on a subconscious level. It's your sense of self-worth. It's your sense of self-image. This is the way that you view yourself in this situation. If you've had any inkling of judging yourself, any inkling of beating yourself up, any inkling of wishing that you could be different or you could be better so that he would want to be with you, you really need a session. So I'm going to include the links to this below, but just know, again, no judgment. I'm here for you. I love you. But you need to look at this. And if you are just like, okay, where do I start? Start listing out why you would be an amazing girlfriend, why would you be an amazing partner, not for this person, but just in general. Start to see your own worth, your own value, why you deserve better. You need to show yourself why you deserve better, and make note of the people who are treating you better in your life. Why are you focusing your energy? Situationships are rooted in lack. This is like you're lacking love and you're desiring love and you're lacking it and you're trying to make it something that it's not. That is an energetic recipe for disaster and manifestation. In manifestation, you focus on what's working. You focus on where things are going right. You focus on where your energy is wanted. You go down the path of ease, the path of flow. This is the epitome of walking down a gross neural pathway in your brain that you've been like trying to rewire. And the bad part is it's so deeply grooved that it lets you. This is like cavernous. Let me know if this episode helped you. I know that was a little bit of tough love, but I hope that helps you like intellectually understand what's going on, energetically understand what's going on, from a soul perspective, understand what's going on, and give you the permission that you need to be like, I need to choose myself. And if choosing yourself is booking a session with me, I would absolutely love to support you. Thank you so much for joining this week's episode of Princess Interrupted, the podcast. I love you, and let's help you get the love you actually deserve.